Hello, moms. This is Brianna. For those of you who are new to this group, I'm Brianna. I'm an empowerment coach for teen girls and young women. And my heart just feels like I feel really good right now. I had a couple of amazing sessions today, and I just got off with one of the girls or one of the young women that I work with just now. And my heart is just feeling so full, and I'm going to try to explain it as best I can. But really, like, what I see so often with so many of the girls, so many of the young women that I work with is this girls have such a hard time loving themselves. I'm trying to put this into words because, like, I don't know, I'm like I don't even know how to explain it. I'm feeling, gosh, my heart is just like, my heart feels like it's bursting like wide open right now. And it's an incredible feeling. And I think that's why I wanted to come on and just do this Facebook Live. So what I find so often with so many of my clients is that they're having such a hard time loving themselves. They're having such a hard time bringing compassion towards themselves. And, this is something that often we are not taught how to do for ourselves, right? Like, we know how to do that for other people. It's easy to be kind to the friend, right? It's easy to be nice to the boyfriend or the girlfriend, right? It's easy to be so loving to our family. But, like, what happened somewhere along the way? Like, we didn't learn how to do that for ourselves, right? And that is the one major thing that I see with the majority of my clients, is that they have such a hard time coming from this place of just seeing like everything that they're going through, all of like the challenges, the obstacles, and loving themselves throughout it all. Because we can be our own worst bully at times, right? I know I can be for myself as well. I have my moments. I'm not perfect, right? And I'm sure maybe some of you who are watching this can also, also feel that way. Like, we have this inner voice in us, and it likes to beat us down, and it likes for us to stay there, right? That's just the ego. And it's really interesting because what happens when I work with my clients, and even in the session that I just got off of, it's like there's this opening, right? There's this expansion. There's this higher level of consciousness and awakening of how they can start showing up for themselves in a different way. And this isn't something that happens overnight. It's not something that they just wake up one day and they're like, oh my God, I'm loving myself. It's just so easy. No, it takes time. It takes practice. It's like learning a new skill. And for most of us, myself included, I didn't know how to do this for myself. I didn't know how to love myself. I didn't know how to be compassionate towards myself. That it was never something that I had learned how to do. Through this work, through the work that I have done on myself, and the work that I am doing with the girls and young women that I work with, this is the foundation of this work. Many of you might wonder, what do I do as an empowerment coach for teen girls and young women? We do a lot. We do a lot. But the foundation of this work comes down to one thing, And that is self-love. That is having self-compassion. And when your daughter can have that, her entire life changes. It changes. It transforms. But it takes your daughter, it's about her willingness to show up in a new way. Because the old way doesn't work anymore. The old way doesn't serve her anymore. And it's about showing up in this new way consistently, not just once in a while, but consistently showing up for herself with kindness, compassion, and love for herself for no other reason than she deserves it. And what I just did with one of my clients is I led her through a guided meditation. It was like a journey of her awakening. It was a journey of this process of where she's going in her life. And what I find so often, and I've also found this for myself, is that we often want to get there quickly, right? Like, if your daughter is struggling in her life, you might just want like a quick fix. Like, oh, come on, why is this taking so long, right? Why does it have to take so long? I am a good example of this because there are things in my life where I'm like, oh, it's taken so long. Why can't we just speed this up a little bit more? But that is coming from the ego part of our mind, right? It's not coming from our authentic self, our soul, whatever you want to call it. This process, this journey that we are all on, it's not like there's a rush to the finish line, right? There is a goal. I'm sure your daughter has goals, right? Of where she wants to be in her life, right? And she has to go through certain things in order to get there. But if your daughter's only goal is to, let's say her goal is to, okay, she wants to get into this top college of her choice, right? But who is she showing up as day in and day out in order to get there? Is she stressed out morning, noon, and night? Does she have balance in her life? Is she happy? Because if that's her end goal, if your daughter's end goal is to get into some big school of her choice, some college, right? But how is she showing up every day? Is she miserable and hating her life? Or is there joy? Is there happiness? Is there fulfillment? I want to talk about something that it's really interesting. So some of you might not know, I have a master's degree in spiritual psychology. It's an amazing program. It was such a there was so much synchronicity that even got me to this program. And maybe I'll save that story for another time. But what we talk about within spiritual psychology is that there is a goal line and that there is a soul line. This is not just for your daughters, this is also for you, moms. So this is really good stuff. But basically, the goal line is we have to do all of these things. Like, I have to get into the right school. I have to have that car. I have to have that job. I have to, all of the things that we think are going to bring us success, fulfillment, happiness. But what they all are just, they're little like ticks that we have on this thing that we call the goal line. And they don't actually bring us happiness, or fulfillment. And then there's this other thing, and it's called the soul line. So goal line is here, and soul line goes up. And what I do with the girls and the young women that I work with is bring them up, up, up on the soul line. Because it's not about all of getting the right grades. It's not about, you might think it's about getting all the right grades, but that's not what is actually going to bring your daughter happiness and fulfillment in her life. So the soul line is who your daughter is being, how she is showing up, what really matters to her. Because when I was in my early 30s, I woke up one morning and I had like the goals, I had it. I had the nice car, I had the great job, I had the really nice apartment overlooking the marina. I had all of the things that if you looked at my life, you would have thought, ooh, she's got a good life. But all I had done was just hit the goals, right? But I wasn't happy. And it wasn't until I started doing the work on myself that I was able to move up here. And this is what I call the soul line. And it was expanding my level of consciousness. It was awakening to my soul, to who I really was, finding out who I was. What was going to make me happy? It wasn't about the job or the boyfriend or the clothes or the car or any of that crap. It didn't matter. It was about who I was being and how I was showing up in the world. And it's a really amazing thing that I'm so blessed that I get to do this work, that I get to show up and I get to have these amazing conversations and these amazing relationships with these girls and young women that I work with. Because what they're doing is they're waking up to a higher level of consciousness when they do this work. They're waking up to the truth of who they really are. Not the expectations of what society places on them, or who they think that they need to be in order to get love and acceptance from other people. That's not what's important. What's important is lining up to the truth of who they are, finding out who they are, and living their life for themselves, for what makes them happy and what makes them feel fulfilled. Because I know all of you moms, you want the very best for your daughters, right? But it's not about what you want for them that's going to make them happy. It's about what they want. And are they doing the things that they want to do that are making themselves happy? And happiness is a choice. We're not given happiness. Some of us have to work hard for happiness. I know I have had to work hard to get my happiness. And it's like a skill that I practice every day. Sometimes I don't wake up feeling happy, but I have to do the work in order to feel that way. Because it feels damn good to be happy. It feels damn good to wake up in the morning loving my life. But that's a choice. And that is a choice that every single one of your daughters can make for herself as well. And if she's not doing the work, on herself, if she's looking at like all of the goals that she needs to get done in her life, because that's what she thinks that she needs to do. And there's nothing going on up here with that soul line, then it's very easy to, it's very easy to feel empty inside. It's very easy to feel like there's no purpose. And I don't care how old your daughter is, whether she's 9 or whether she's 15 or 25, they all need to feel like they have purpose. Otherwise, why are they here? And that's why this work that I do with teen girls and young women is so important. Because when they can get in tune to the deepest level of who they are, why they're here, what they're here to do, who they're here to be, not what you want for them, but what they want for themselves, everything changes. Everything changes. So I want you just to really think about this and ask yourself, like, where is your daughter right now in her life? Is she just ticking everything off of the goal line, getting the right grades, doing the things that she needs to do? Is she happy? Is she waking up every morning enjoying her life? Is there fulfillment? If there's not, she's miserable, if she's sad, if she's depressed, then something needs to change. And nothing is going to change if she keeps doing the same thing over and over again, right? It all comes down to this. Who is your daughter being? How is she showing up for herself? Does she love the person that she is showing up as? This thing that I was talking about earlier, self-compassion, self-love. Most of us are not taught what this is, what it looks like. How can we be loving towards ourselves? Most of us don't know how. It's easy for us to do that for other people, but when it comes to ourselves, it's like, oh my God, that's really, really hard. Right? Is it hard for you? Is it hard for you to love yourself? And how much easier would it have been if someone had shown you the way? The only reason that I am able to show the teen girls and young women that I work with how to do this is because I was in their shoes. I had such issues loving myself. It was so hard. It was so hard. But I put in the work. I put in the effort. Because at the end of the day, I knew that I was worth it. And I'm not perfect. I still have days. I still have moments when I might catch myself with an unloving thought. And I have to check myself. And I have to bring compassion for myself and self-love. And so I want to ask you, like, if your daughter is not doing these things, if she's incredibly hard on herself, if she's a perfectionist, if everything has to be perfect all of the time, you know, if her standards are up here and she's if she's never feeling like she's reaching her standards or expectations, then something needs to change. Because if it's starting out now with your daughter, whether your daughter is in middle school or high school or college, it's going to keep going and it's going to get worse. And so if your daughter has someone to work with, that understands this, that gets it, that she can connect, someone that your daughter can connect with, that's everything. It's everything. I don't know if you can hear, my dog is snoring in the background. So anyways, I'm just feeling like, I'm feeling so blessed and so fortunate to be doing this work, to really be helping these girls and young women transform their lives. And I know there's a lot of moms that are watching this, that are in this group, and your daughters may be struggling. And it's really about asking yourself, like, how long is it going to be this way? Because struggling is optional. It doesn't have to be that way. But it's about getting your daughter the help that she needs, getting your daughter the support that she needs. So I still have a couple of open spaces to work privately with me. If this Facebook Live resonates with you, if you're seeing that your daughter is living more on this goal line of having, doing all of the things that she thinks that she needs to do, but there's no joy, there's no excitement, there's no happiness, then book a call with me. I'll leave the link. If you want to book a call with me, I would love to speak with you. But this is really only if your daughter is ready to change, if she's ready for something different in her life. Because those are the girls and those are the young women that I want to work with. So I'm going to leave you with that. I'm feeling really good right now. And I hope all of you are having an amazing day. And just so much love to all of you. See you guys later. Bye.